welcome today. Today's tax talk, as I mentioned, is we're going to talk about the tax gap today and the IRS enforcement. They go hand in hand. Right? You can't have one without the other because that's what they're using this tax gap about. It's all about enforcement. How can the IRS, how can they get more money to come after business owners to collect more? Because they're spending trillions of dollars and they need the income. So they're trying to figure out, well, how are we going to do this? How are we going to come up with the money without raising taxes? And they're going to raise taxes too. That's in there. So they can't do one without the other. They will raise taxes and they will start collection, and that's just the way it is. Now we've been kind of on a low end of collections. The IRS has pretty much been on a hiatus for the last 18 months since last March. They haven't been collecting they haven't been as aggressive in collecting because their employees have been at home and they haven't been in the office trying to work. They're getting a much more aggressive, and that's really where all this is. This is where it's coming from. You have to be careful because they've already announced that the number of audits are going to go up for small businesses. They'll tell you that they're only going after the wealthy. Well, they are going after wealthy, but in their eyes, you're the wealthy one, right? You're the one that they got to get the money from. So there's a couple. First, let's define what the tax gap is. We'll say the gross tax gap is the difference between true tax liability for a given tax year, and the amount that is paid on time. It is comprised of the non-filing gap, the underreporting gap, and the underpayment gap. Okay, so let me go back to this map here. So you see on this video or this image here, the gap here is they have underreporting, underreporting gap, underpayment gap, and what bridges this gap is enforcement, right, and compliance. So this is how that's how they're going to bridge the gap through enforcement. And so again, when they keep telling you that they're only going to go after the rich, I don't believe it myself. So the reports listed below vary whether. So I'm going to go back and look at historically. Now in my mind, the tax gap has always been overinflated. They don't know what the number is. Right? They are guessing. There's no, because it's something you can't know. You can't know what you don't have or what's out there that people are cheating. So all they're doing is guessing. But they've been guessing the same for years. It's always they've been guessing the same. It's about the same percentage. So if we go down, let me see if I can find this here. This is the gap. So first, let me show you what we have here. This is the tax gap estimates for tax years 2011 to 2013. And you'll see that these estimates on this, they're showing the tax gap at $441 billion. And then after everybody pays, it's at about $381 billion. And this is 2013. So the last tax year we have is 2020. And so all of these stats that they're telling us are from 2020. Now they're telling us that the tax gap is over $1 billion. Let me see if I can. IRS chief says $1 trillion. I should say $1 trillion. It's amazing how you could say $1 billion. It sounds like a lot of money, but it's a spit in the bucket, right? We're talking about $1 trillion a year. Now, so the IRS chief says it's $1 trillion in taxes goes uncollected. And how could that be? How could it go from $300 or $400 billion to $1 trillion, just like that? And and here's the other boogeyman. So the two boogeymen, the tax gap, and what causes the tax gap? Well, according to the commissioner, the tax gap, the difference between taxes legally owed and revenue paid, it's about cryptocurrencies. New sources of wealth arising since then, such as trading in cryptocurrencies, were escaping taxation. Well, they can't know that. They don't know how much cryptocurrency has been bought and sold. It's anonymous. So this one of the things that they're using to to bat people over the head with and try to convince you that this is all what we need, right? We all need more IRS. We need more agents. We need more money because people are stealing and we need to stop them. So